now that the tanks are split, it's time to build the internal structure. We're going to use some 2x3, or actually no, some 3x1 steel rectangle tubing. So what we're going to do is we're going to making a template. I picked up a 1x12 by 10, and we're going to lay the tank on it, and then we're going to scribe it so we have kind of a good form for our metal, which we're right here. We got two pieces of 10-footer. This is a 1x3 or 1.5x3, 1/8 inch thick. So what we're going to do is trace through here. Once we get it lined up properly, cut it out, and then once we can kind of line our tube up against it, make some relief cuts, bend it, and then weld it up. So now we have a trace line, pretty much the same pattern as the tank. We're going to cut that out, so we actually have two different pieces here that we can use, but we can line our metal up against it. That way they're the same on both sides, keep it kind of uniform. What I've done here in the back, this measurement from here to here, it's roughly what my rear center of the rear axle is going to be. Same thing with the front. Maybe it's a little long, but I can always cut it down. That's a good thing about metal. So what we're going to do is go ahead and cut this into two pieces and see what we have. What we're going to end up doing is cutting a notch here, down on three sides, in a few different spots, and then we'll get a ratchet strap on each end and kind of push it together so we can get it to bend to this form. I have a tube bender, but I don't have a die or anything for this, so we're going to have to do it the old way. Once we get it kind of cut and pushed where it needs to go, then we can put a few tack welds on it to make sure it's the same. And then we'll make another one for the other side, and then we'll have the two sides of this thing. So yeah, let's go. All right, so what we're going to do, we have these lined up here. You kind of see we're at the same gap here, and it starts getting wider and then really wide. So we're going to make a reference mark, because we're going to take this board away a couple times and do a double, so we know where to line it back up to. So what we're going to do is kind of look and see. It's pretty tight there. It starts losing gap right here, so we're going to do our first mark here. We'll go ahead and cut this one. I'll show you that, and then I'll speed up the rest of it. So it's the same thing. We're going to do mark here, 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 here on the three sides, pull it together and try to get to form to this, and then we'll weld it up. So So we have a few of the relief cuts. There, a couple of those. Got it pulled around the board. I think it looks pretty good. Of course, it's not going to be a perfect arch because we don't have it in a ring roller or anything like that. I have one, but I only have the dies for tube. So, but you can kind of see the idea here. I think that works pretty well. So what we're going to do is go ahead and we'll put some tacks on the different spots, 3 or 4 tacks on it to hold it, and then we'll get the other one, same measurements, do the exact same thing, and we'll have 2 of them. And then we'll have, this is the front obviously, so we'll take the other one, flip it, and it'll run around this way. We'll put a few braces across to tack it to hold it, and then we can get the tank out and kind of drop it in and see where we have to notch the gussets that are in it. I want to try to leave as much of the gussets as I can, just to give it some more support. So that went rather well. I think it looks pretty good. Good morning. So yesterday we got this cut and braced up to the right angle that we need. What we're going to do is we're going to unstrap here, let this come back, line up our other board with it, make our corresponding marks, and then we'll cut this to the same, and then we'll start welding them up. So we brought it back into the garage. It's a little windy outside, so we don't want to weld it outside. Got it bent back onto the form everywhere where it was yesterday. Everything lines up good. I had clamp marks, so everything was in the same spot. I have a nice arc. So I'm gonna go through and put a tack weld on the 2 corners on the top, and then I'll flip it underside and get 2 more. That should hold it. Then we'll bring the other one in, do the exact same thing, and then we should have 2 identical side frame rails. We'll line them up and see how they go. Once we do that, we'll have to do some measurements with the tank, and we'll do a few temporary cross braces, because it all depends where the motor and everything else goes, but at least we can kind of get it set into the tank. Some of the gussets, I have those full right now. So once we lower it down, we can kind of see where we can notch the gussets just to get that body to the chassis so we have some mounts. And then, like I said, we'll have to cut out the gussets at some other point once we know where everything has to go. But for right now, it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and get this tacked up and see how they line up. So as you can see, I went ahead and welded it up. I figured if the arch matched the arch that we made, then why tack it? Might as well just get it welded up so that part's done. So got everything welded. Through here you can kind of see the curve. And so I think we'll do pretty good. So there we go. We'll get the next one in and get it bent up, then we'll line them up and see how they do. Well, we got both sides welded up. We stuck each one side by side, standing it up, and about right here in the middle, the right one was about an 1/8 inch, 3/16 taller, so that's not too big a deal. I can pull that together when we do our temporary braces in there, but this will be the front, that's the rear. We're gonna get the tank on the ground and kind of get some measurements so we know how far to space them, and then get some little temporary struts in here. So we got the frame or the bottom of the tank at ride height. We're level both ways. So we're gonna take the frame rails, this is the rear, we're gonna lay them up here on the sides, both sides, so we can kind of see how it fits, and then we're gonna make our marks to drop the actual metal down. So we'll take some little notches out of this. And once we get that kind of set up, we'll do some cross bracing. So the bottom tank is level, front, sideways, backwards, whatever. See it up there. And got the sides in, and then I have a brace in the front and a brace in the back, getting ready to weld. Those are just temporary until we figure out where the rest of the cross bracing is going to go. But so far, it fit in great, and it looks pretty good. So I'll get a brace in the front, brace in the back, and then maybe do a cross in the middle. Well, the frame support's done. It's pulled out. We got some braces welded in to keep it for now. Nice little curve. Everything's on there. So, guess we'll go ahead and clean up the welds. Next stage really is I need my front and rear axles, which I'm still looking for. Also the motor and trans. So do a few little things until I can find that kind of stuff. We have the frame inside of the tub. So where we're right now is, if you can see over here, we have some little tabs that we're going to weld to the actual frame, and it's going to bolt to the different parts in the gusset. That way we have a secure mount for the tank to attach to the frame. So we got that on both sides. I got all the brackets cut, and I'm just bolting them in now, and then we'll weld them up. Here's the underside of the frame. You can see all of our little body tabs here that will mount to the actual bottom of the tank. So we got all those welded in. Looks pretty good. So we know our ride height, and we'll get all that set up. The actual tank at the bottom is set up right now at the actual ride height, and we're just about 4 3/8 to the main center at the bottom there. So pretty low. I know most of them out west are 4 inches, some go to 5 inches, so we're kind of right in between. We're going to go ahead and get the frame flipped and on stands at the ride height, and we're going to get the axles in the next couple of days. The main frame is welded, and we have tabs on the mount for the body, so that's a big accomplishment there. Good news is we did find a donor 36 Ford, actually a full rolling chassis with working brakes. They are the manual brakes, so they're not hydraulic. So I think I might try to use those, which would be kind of cool, kind of retro-ish. So we'll do a video of actually cutting the axles out and getting everything separated. So a lot of work, but it's fun. So we're gonna go up and get that. It's actually in Michigan, so it's quite a haul away. So we're gonna get that so we can get the axles, and then we can actually get that installed on this, which would be great. So that we actually can have a roller. So appreciate you all watching. If you would, please subscribe. Don't have very many subscribers, but hopefully we'll get there, but still having fun regardless. Thank you.